Hey, if you're watching this video, you were probably a little scammed by Refinable. And so in this video, they actually break down a timeline of the events that happened. I think it's a good timeline. Again, I'm a brand new investor. My name is Aaron. I'm in Journey to One Bitcoin. I don't understand a lot of this terminology, but I understand some basic stuff, right? And so I want to take my basic stuff and kind of hand it to you, a plate full of basic stuff, if you will. And so if we're going to go into this timeline of events that they are trying to break down for us and saying that they are not shady, that it was actually all the bot's fault. And the long and short of it is I buy it. I don't know if you'll buy it. I'm going to link the description, the blog post down in the description below. But yeah, we could go and find that right here. So this is their timeline of events. I found this on the Refinable app. It came in about 10 hours ago. And so, I mean, 10 hours ago, what's that, like 30 or like maybe 30 or 40, like 35-ish hours later, they're going to try to vindicate themselves. And so, following the official response from their co-founder Nick Chan, they would like to establish a clear picture of the events of what happened during their launch. Okay, and so we're going to go into this. Again, I'm not a very technical person. I'm just not going to read it like that. And I think a lot of you are not going to read it like this. If you're a very technical person, explain it to me. Tell me down in the comments below, and I'll send people to your videos so they could break down exactly what kind of alien space math jargon they're talking about here. So here we go. The timeline of events. 9:30 or UTC time. They had the entire token supply reminted because this was an attempt to confuse the bots. Okay, that's fine. The problem is with that is that they were like happy and cheering in that one video of them, like like they didn't look like they were tired. So whether or not that's true, okay, that's probably, I'll just give it to you. That's true. It still doesn't do me any public perception. Like it doesn't. I don't feel good, right? I don't feel good about that. I don't know why. The poker starters sale begins. That is the pre-sale, and then the initial liquidity supply is triggered at 2:10. And so the initial liquidity supply started at at the price that they wanted to execute at this price, and they link this to BT or BSC scan, and that is this right here. Okay, now I am a new person. I don't understand this. In nowhere here do I see 0.033. I mean, I could try to figure it out, but this looks like hieroglyphics to me. Honestly, I'm looking at the transaction fee 0.001. Okay, that's just transaction fee, Aaron. Okay, now the BNB price, that's the price at the time. The value of the B. Okay, I don't understand this. All right, and if you understand this, explain this to me, because I could go into the logs. And I'm like, this is alien hieroglyphics right now. I feel like I should be reading like 0.033. I'm like, I don't freaking understand this. Oh, scammers, Esteban, look at you. Okay, so and you know what? Who can understand this? Really? Like these guys are a bunch of like mathematician genius level alien like knowledge level. How are we supposed to understand this? I don't know. And I'm sure that's in some way vindicates them, but it's hard to gain public perception back. I mean, it really is. Front running bot was executed immediately after launch, draining 90% of Refinable's liquidity pool. Okay, I understand this. There's a bot that came in and drained 90% of their token instantly. Okay, here's the problem with that. Isn't that always the case with a launch? Isn't that always the case for a launch? Like, tokens are being launched left and right here. Bots are buying into these things left and right. The team should have known this, right? The team should have freaking known this. That to me is like you're just kind of passing the buck. If you know that we're in the crypto space, we're in the Wild West, everyone knows that we are going to be hit. Everyone knows that these bots are coming in. Everyone knows that this thing is at risk, at danger. You guys as a team should be aware of this, and you should be communicating. They should be saying, look, we know these bots. Be careful, guys. Slow down. We cannot control. This is like, it's what's called managing expectations, okay? And they did not manage these expectations at all. They just they said this is going to be 0.033, and if, people kind of expect it'll go up. But to jump to $5, $7, $10 nearly immediately is ridiculous. And so this is the game that Refinable has to play. They have to manage people's expectations, and they did not. They did not. I thought this was very interesting, though. Look at this. This guy puts up. Here's this random dude. Here are the first transactions. Bots hovered at the supply. Risk of DeFi investing. They should have been foreseen by the team. I agree with you, my friend. I agree with you. And so you see here that these first transactions right here have been bought up by the bots. And you see them. Look at the prices of them. 0.7 cents, 0.08 cents, 0.8 cents, 0.5 cents, 0.2 cents. Okay, this is normal. This makes sense to me. And they're buying a freaking lot of BNB there. So yeah, if people bought in at like 7 cents, that would make sense. That is totally understandable. But for them to like buy up 90%, this should be happening. If this is so like, oh, this is just what happens. That's what they're saying. This is just what happens. Then every other coin should be this should be happening to every other coin, and it's not. It simply isn't. I was part of the Safe Panda launch, and it wasn't. We bought in a little higher, but it wasn't like times 500%. That was some crazy stuff right there. The first successful claim of public sale tokens. I was among them. I was that dude. I was there. And then the distributions. Look, let me just read this last set. The team has taken precautions to obfuscate. What is that word? What is that? Obfuscate. Well, I think I'm cussing. Obfuscate. I don't know what that word is. Our token contracts. Yo, I am not a financial advisor. The short time frame before our initial liquidity supply was enough for malicious bots to be configured for the purpose of draining our immediately after launch. This is what they're standing on. The bots did it. The bots did it. The bots did it. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter anymore because you handled our expectations incorrectly. This should have been foreseen. There should have been precautions taken or something. And if the argument is there's nothing we could have done, that's crazy. There's at least communication you could have done. The argument is there's nothing you could have done. There is at least communication. 22 hours you went dark. There's at least communication you could have done. The sudden drainage immediately launched the LP pool to readjust the token accordingly. First of all, I thought they staggered out the liquidity supply too. I mean, I thought that was like 0.5 of his thing. Upon investigation, the large price volatility occurred long prior before distribution of any private investor tokens, and thus was not a result of any token, but rather caused solely by several malicious bots that have been reported so far. Wait, and also there's no mention of like the contract leaking early. He mentioned that in his tweets. I don't understand. This is not lining up. I'm just like realizing this right now. He is not. We're gonna go into this. There's initial contract leak. Where did I see that? Yeah, right here, first one. There were reported token contract leaks a few hours before launch, so the team reminted our entire token supply to mitigate bot setups. Okay, so yeah, so what happened? You did it like 30 minutes before or whatever it is, or a couple hours before. You reminted everything. You knew the contract leak. You reminted everything, and still the bots got you. In like, how much better can they do than 90%, 100%? Yeah, I don't understand this, guys. Our team would like to personally thank all our supporters. Many have risen out during these times to fight misinformation. Here's the thing. I don't think that they think they're wrong. I don't think there's no apology in here in any of their tweet and any of their correspondence. There's no apology. There's no signs of signs of empathy. There's no show of sympathy. There's no connecting on a level basis. Hey, we are so sorry this has happened to people. We want to do everything in our power to make things right. There's none of that. There is zero of that empathic sense here, and I think it's because that they genuinely don't feel like they have anything to apologize for. There's not even an apology for the communication. Like I said, we have two problems here. One is the failure launch, like the technical aspect of it. The bots got us. And to that I say, you should have seen it coming, dude. You should have seen it coming. You did see it coming. You leaked the contract and you did see it coming, and they still got us. But that is a argument on incompetence. And incompetence, we can all forgive, right? We're all incompetent at times. We could all show grace. We could all kind of forgive. That is an issue of incompetence. But that's just one issue. The second issue is the community. You did not communicate. You did not manage expectations well. You did not handle communication well. That 3 days later, 30 hours later, this like 30 months, it's like in crypto world, especially when you've lost money, you put out this thing and it's cold. I don't know who's writing your stuff, but that's cold. It's cold when people are like, and here's what I think is happening. I think these are brand new investors to the crypto world, like me, who invested in you because they are familiar with Mr. Beast and they're familiar with Binance. Everyone, if you're like me, you got in around these micro cap coins with the SafeMoon hype, and SafeMoon hype died down, and you're looking around else like, okay, what else can I invest in? I'm already here. I've learned a little bit. Why not dive into this space? And so anytime, like whatever you were involved in before SafeMoon, whatever you hype about before SafeMoon, it's died out, and now you're invested into crypto, and you're like wandering into this world, into crypto, like me. This is me. And then you find this guy, this company called Refinable, and you're familiar with Mr. Beast and you're familiar with Binance. You're like, yeah, I'm in. This looks great. And by all accounts, you've never been part of a scam like before, like me. But then this happens, and you're no dummy, and I'm no dummy, and we know how to handle expectations, and we know how to just come clean and be transparent and honest. And they are not doing that. And so that's what that is. So let me address this problem. A lot of us out there, and I'm reading the comment section, we have to ask ourselves, who is to blame here? I think Refinable has to ask themselves, who is to blame here? And I think there's a problem when we allocate 100% of the blame to solely one party. Because let me say this. If you're like me, I own my mistakes. If it's, and you know what? I don't trust anyone out there to take care of me. I don't depend on that to take care of me. I don't want people to take care of me. I don't think that everyone out there has my best intentions at heart, and that's okay because they got their own stuff they're dealing with. I look after me and my family, and that's what happens. So if I make a call, it's on me. If I make a bad call or a good call, it's on me. And so this time when I fell into this and it's not a rug pull. I think it's a scam, because if they say it's going to launch at this price and it launches at another price for whatever factor or reason, there are always going to be factors and reasons. They have to make sure that happens. I think it's a scam. So if they say it, if they advertise one thing and they do another, that to me is a scam. And so I fell for that. And I should have been looking. I was silly. I was blinded by FOMO. I was blinded by like, oh, I could be so rich and on my moon yacht and stuff like that. And I didn't notice that I hit the decimal was in the wrong place in that long string of numbers, 108.x5432. You know what I mean? Like that decimal was like higher on that timeline on that list. Okay, that's my fault, and I own it. I should have made that. I should have clarified. I'm not going to make that mistake anymore. It's a lesson learned. Okay, and I was able to get out, fortunately. If you want to hear that story, just go ahead and links in the description or up top here. So certainly I am at blame here in some part. Okay, if you fell into this, you are at blame in some fashion, in some part. You and I should have looked. We should have taken our time and looked. But because of the fever, because of the hype, because of like it wasn't working and there's not enough liquidity, our priority stopped becoming like making sure how much is in there to just trying to get in, right? That's what happened to you and me. That's one part of the blame. Okay, we're not denying that, we're accepting that. Certainly, another part of the blame is these bots. There are these people out there who create these bots to try to get rich. Certainly, that's part to blame too. But you cannot, just like I wouldn't want to place 100% blame on one part, I wouldn't want to place 0% blame on another party. And that's where Refinable comes in. And this is what disappoints me with this team as a company, as a whole, as the Nick Chan, the co-founder. Look, it's as if you are accepting 0% of the blame. And that's just not right. You are in partial part to blame for all this, just like the rest of this stuff happening. And for you to not own it, it loses trust in me forever. I'm not going to invest in you guys in Refinable. I don't think you should invest too if you're watching this video. Anyway, if you agree with these thoughts, and if you know, I'm certainly not entitled to your like, but I would ask, if you're feeling generous today, if you're a generous person, to give me a like on this video. Anyway, thanks so much. I'm done talking. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the moon.